Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to another book chat. Okay, so it's March. I don't know about you, but February was an incredibly long month for such a short month. It seemed to last forever. And now March is kind of running away on little March feet. It's kind of like boom. So I'm not quite sure how that's working, but I have concluded over the last 12 months or so that time is not linear. It's just very, very variable. So it's not surprising me that much. But anyway, how are things where you are? Is it starting to feel like spring if you're in the northern hemisphere? Is it starting to get a bit autumnish if you're in the southern hemisphere? How are things changing for you? So hit reply or let me know in the comments, and yeah, just let me know how things are going with you. Here I have kind of a magical mystery garden because basically back in October or so, we bought one of those big multi things of bulbs that you can get at the shops where there's like 100 bulbs, and so the SO put them all in the garden, and now they're coming up, and I don't know what they are going to be when they do come up. So it's a surprise garden, and I'm good with that. Surprise garden seems like my sort of gardening, really. No planning required. And yes, that is actually sun. That's sun coming in. That's not light, so that's quite nice. And the days are getting longer, so yeah, it's nice. And the lambs are out, but mostly I just feel sorry for them because I'm pretty sure that yeah, we'll probably get some more frost and cold weather and see them out, these poor wee little things. But it was very cool seeing them when I was out running the other day. They're beautiful. So yeah, you can feel things are changing. The year's starting to move on. So that's quite nice because it has felt like a very, very long winter. And I'm sure it has for a lot of you as well. So let me know what's changing, what you're looking forward to, and yeah, what little differences you're noticing out and about at the moment. And then on to books. My book slump, my reading slump has improved a little bit. Basically because I went, you know what, I am just going back to my comfort reading. And comfort reading for me is my middle grade novels, because the middle grade I tend to read are fantasy adventure, and they are exactly that. Lots of magic, lots of adventure, lots of friendship, loads of stuff happening, just sort of non-stop actions that you can't put it down, and it was exactly what I needed. So I should get onto those in a moment, but first I will talk about the books that I read before that. So the first one for me this month, actually, you know what, it wasn't that. The first one I did read was actually, I was sort of trying to get back into my middle grade as well, but I think I was just in too much of a slump still. So I did read Witch Week by Diana Wynne Jones. And I was really kind of sad because it was a really good story, but I was still in my couldn't really focus stage. So it took me ages to read it, and I did not enjoy it as much as I think I probably would have at any other time, because I do love her writing and I love her characters and I love her imagination. It's awesome. So I think I might go back and reread that when I'm in a bit of a better headspace. But it was very fun. It's about an alternate world to, well, there's lots of alternate worlds. In this particular one, magic is outlawed, but there's a lot of magic there still. And so there's all these poor kids that are worried about being burnt at stake because they are actually magic. And Christomancy comes to sort it out. So there we go. Witch Week by Diana Wynne Jones, which I think is much better than I didn't think it was bad, I just couldn't really focus on it. There we go. But what did break me out of my not being able to focus thing was, weirdly, a really long book, which I kind of struggled through a little bit, mostly because I really liked the concept. So it was an eco-horror. It was The Swarm by Frank Schatzing. And when I say really long, this is a long book. Basically, things start to shift in the ocean, and there's all these changes which are destabilizing the seabed, and the scientists trying to figure out, it's all happening around all the oil platforms in the North Sea, and the scientists are trying to figure out what's going on. And at the same time, there's strange jellyfish popping up in different places, and there's fish are starting to act strange, and whales are starting to attack boats, and then there's all these things going on. And they're trying to put it to all these different scientists in different parts of the world trying to put together exactly what's happening. And it all snowballs, and there's massive disasters, and it's all it was an interesting read. I really liked the science side of it. It was quite thoughtful. I don't know how accurate it is. I'm not a scientist, so I couldn't tell you um, if it was plausible, but it was certainly very detailed, and that side of it I found absolutely fascinating. Most of the characters I sort of wanted to shake. There was a lot of backstory which just had no impact whatsoever on the book itself, and I was just like, well, why are we learning about this? We don't need to know about this, and it's really slowing the book down. So I reckon the book could have been half as long and twice as good because of that. But it was a good read, and weirdly, it really did shake me out of my slump because I was just intrigued and I wanted to know what was happening, and so I actually got through this entire massive book eventually. It took me a couple of weeks, and then having done that, I went, right, okay, I need something really fast paced now, something which is just all action and very little backstory. And so back to some Rick Riordan. Now, I really like the Percy Jackson series, and you might recall from one of my previous vids last year, or maybe even the year before, I read the Magnus Chase series, which I loved. The Magnus Chase series is still completely my favourite of Rick Riordan's that I've read so far. I haven't read The Trials of Apollo or his the heroes of the heroes of Olympus, but I have read the Percy Jackson, enjoyed them. Magnus Chase, loved these, excellent, thoroughly enjoying these as well. So these are based on Egyptian mythology, which I don't know a lot about, so I found that really interesting anyway, and now I want to read more about Egyptian mythology. I've read the first two. I'm actually just started the third one last night. It is a trilogy. And this one's told from the point of view of a brother and sister. So it swaps between the two of them. It's first person the whole way through, which is good. I almost feel it could have been told just from Sadie's point of view, because she's kind of, to me, she's the more key character, and she's got a great voice. But it's really well done. Their voices are distinctive, so you know whose point of view you're in, even if you don't like look at the headings at the start of the chapters and that sort of thing. Again, lots and lots of action. Proper world's going to end. Got to stop. Got to stop the gods playing up, sort of thing, as is always the case with Rick Riordan's books. And if you are in any sort of a reading slump, and you like your middle grade, and you like your action fantasy, absolutely the best way to go to bust you out of a reading slump. Absolutely, cannot recommend them enough. They are just very fun reading. Yes, and so that has really been my reading this month. Very slow science book, very fast middle grade books. And balance, balance. There we go. So yeah, so that's about all I've got to say for this month. This is quite a short video. Yeah, except just to say that I hope you're all doing okay out there. It has been a long year. It's been a long winter for a lot of us. And I hope wherever you are, you're starting to feel things are getting easier, that things are improving. And, sometimes it's just as much as we're getting a bit more daylight in the days, and that helps too. Those long, dark days can get really, really wearing and really, really tiring. So I hope wherever you are and however things are for you there, you're able to maybe get outside a little bit more, get a little bit more fresh air. Hopefully things are improving for you personally, as well as for those around you and the world around you as well. And most of all, I hope you're looking after yourselves still, and being careful and staying safe and doing what you need to do to help you get through this. And yeah, hit reply. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you've been reading this month. Let me know if you've had any sort of massive breakthroughs, or what your reading breakthroughs, or what your go-to books are for getting out of a reading slump. And yes, and then I'm going to dive into the very, very many books I bought this month. I have bought a lot of books this month, considering I've only read 4. I haven't been onto my Kindle for a while, but apparently I've been going onto BookBub and just sort of one-clicking many things, because I don't remember buying all these books. I may have to have a book buying ban for a little bit. I certainly need to get my reading up again. Okay, and that is all from me, and look after yourselves out there, and we shall see you soon.